This is a practice paper for the Edexcel Foundation Tier Paper 3. Question 1. Write down two factors of 20. The factors of 20 are the numbers that multiply together to make 20. So we can have 1 and 20. We can also have 2 and 10. Or we could have 4 and 5. So the factors of 20 are 1, 2, 4, 5, 10 and 20. We just need to write down two of them. So we could just write down 2 and 4. Question 2. Write 40% as a fraction. Percent means out of 100. So 40% is the same as 40 100ths. What we could also do for this question is type into the calculator 40 and then percent, which is shift and then the answer button, 40%, press equals, and it gives it to us as a fraction, and it also gives it simplified, so it's 2/5. 40 out of 100 or 2/5 are both acceptable answers for this question. Question 3. Write down a 6-digit number that has 7 in its hundredths. 7 for its hundredths digit. You can only use the digit 7 once. So it's a 6-digit number. So 1, 2, 3, then 7 in the hundreds, and then 0, 0. So it's 6 digits, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, with a 7 in the hundreds. For this, you could write down any number as long as it's got a 7 in the hundreds. So you could write down 652,791. So as long as it's got a 7 in its hundreds, and that's the only 7, then that is good for this one. Question 4. Write 78.54 correct to one significant figure. So one significant figure means we're only looking for one non-zero number. So the one significant figure is going to be the first one, which is a tens. So we're going to round to the nearest 10, and it's closer to 80 than 70. 8 is 5 or above, so it rounds up to 80. So it's 80. So one significant figure means we're only looking for the first non-zero number. So in this case, it was the tens. If our number was 532, one significant figure, the first non-zero number is the 5. 3 is not 5 or above, so it stays the same. 532 would round to 500 to one significant figure. Question 5. The graph shows some information about car production in the UK over 8 years. For how many of the years was car production more than 1.6 million? So 1.6 million is here along this line. It's more for 2 of the years, year 5 and year 6. So for how many years? 2. In which 2 years was car production the same? So car production was the same in year 2 and year 7. They're both 1.5 million. So year 2 and year 7 have the same car production. Question 6. There are 3 cards in bag A and 2 cards in bag B. There's a letter on each card. Ali takes a card from bag A and then a card from bag B. List the possible outcomes. So for A, we could get C, and then F from B, or we could get C and then G. They're both the outcomes of C. If we got D first, we could get DF or DG. And if we got E first, we get EF or EG. So they are all the possible outcomes. On Monday, Lucy pays for 2 plane tickets. So 2 of these, 7 nights in a hotel, 7 of these, and 2 theme park tickets, 2 of these. Show that Lucy pays more than $2,500 on Monday. So we've got 2 750s, which is 1,500. We've got 7 120s, which is 840. And we've got 2 125s, which is 250. So in total, we've got 1,500, we've got 840, and we've got 250. So we add them all together. And we get 2,590. And so we've shown it that is bigger than 2,500. Question 8. Solve y divided by 5 is equal to 6. So what number divided by 5 will give us an answer of 6? So we could undo this. We can get rid of a divide by multiplying. So we can say y is equal to 6 times 5, which is 30. 30 divided by 5 is 6. Part B, solve 2f minus 9 equals 12. So again, we could undo this equation by doing the opposite. So if I want to get rid of a minus 9, I can add 9 to both sides of the equation. So 2f's are equal to 12 plus 9, which is 21. So if 2f's are 21, 1f must be half of 21, which is 10.5. So 21 over 2, or 10.5. So 2 10.5s is 21. Take away 9 is 12. F must be 10.5. Question 9. Here is part of a train timetable. And Rosie gets to the station at 7:15. How many minutes does she have to wait until 7:22? So from 7:15 to 7:22, how many minutes do we have? Well, 22 take away 15 is 7. 7 minutes. So 5 minutes to get to 7:20, and then another 2 minutes. 7 minutes. Work out how long it will take the 7:22 train to get to London. So it's 7:22, and it gets in at 8:50. How long is that? So we could do it without a calculator, or we could do it with a calculator. Without, we'd say we're at 7:22. If we add on 8 minutes, we'll get to 7:30. If we add on 1 hour, we'll get to 8:30. And then 20 more minutes will get us to 8:50. So how long is that in total? 8 minutes, 1 hour and 20 minutes. That's 1 hour and 28 minutes. With a calculator, we can do 8:50, take away 7:22 by using the time button. So 8 hours, 50 minutes, take away 7 hours and 22 minutes, will give us 1 hour, 28 minutes. Question 10. Adam, Beth, and Charlie share an amount of money in the ratio 6 to 7 to 8. What fraction of the money does Charlie get? So Charlie gets 8 parts for Charlie. Charlie gets 8 parts. How many parts are there in total? 6, 7, and 8 added together is 21. So he's got 8 out of 21. Well, they have 8 out of 21. So 8 over 21. Question 11. Cornflakes are sold in 2 sizes of box. Small is 540 grams and large 720 grams. Sophie buys 4 small boxes of cornflakes and some large boxes. In total, she buys 4,320 grams of cornflakes. Work out the number of large boxes of cornflakes that Sophie buys. So we've got 4 small boxes. So 540 times 4 is 2,160 grams. So we've got 2,160 grams of small boxes. The total, we know the total number of grams. So if we take away the small boxes, we'll just have the large ones left. So 4,320, take away the answer, and it's 2,160 as well. So 2,160 grams, and they're in 720 gram packs. So how many 720s make 2,160? That is 3. So 3 large boxes. Question 12. Here is a number machine. So we put a number in, divide it by 8, then add 5, and we get a number out. Work out the output when the input is 48. So we put 48 in. So we're going to do 48 divided by 8. 48 divided by 8 is 6. And then we're going to add 5. So 6 plus 5 is 11. So the output is 11. Here is a different number machine. The number machine is not complete. So we put a number in, we add something to it, then times it by 12, and we get a number out. Find when the input is 6, so we put 6 in. So 6 plus something times 12 is going to give us 168. Complete the number machine. So if we do 168 and divide it by 12, so do the opposite, we'll find out what the number was halfway through. The number was 6 plus something will equal this number. So 168 divided by 12 is 14. So the number must have been 14 at this stage, because 14 times 12 is 168. So 6 plus something equals 14. 14 take away 6 is 8. So this number must be 8. So 6 plus 8 is 14. 14 times 12 is 168. So the number is 8. Question 13. Complete the table of values for y equals half x minus 1. So it's half the x number and then take away 1. So we can use the calculator. We can say half of the x number, take away 1. And just put the x number into this bracket. So half of negative 2, take away 1, is negative 2. Half of 0, which will be 0, take away 1, will be negative 1. Half of 1, take away 1, is minus a half, minus 0.5. And you can see the pattern, it's going up in halves, up in 0.5s. So we should get 0, and then 0.5. I'll check by substituting in 3. We get 0.5, half. So this is a linear graph. It's a straight line graph. It's in the form y equals mx plus c. We just plot these points on. So x coordinate, y coordinate. So -2, -2. -1 minus 1.5. 0, -1. 1 minus a half. 2, 0, and 3, half. And we can see that they've formed a nice straight line, and we'll just join them up with a ruler to complete our graph. Use your graph to find the value of x when y is equal to 0.2. So where on the graph is y 0.2? So it's 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, 0.4, 0.5, and so on. So y is 0.2 here. So we're going to go along to our line, and then down from that point, and read off what x is, and we should have 2.4. So x is equal to 2.4. Question 14. A group of football fans were asked what their favourite halftime snack was. The table below gives some information about their answers. So 31 fans chose burger, 28 pie, and 13 hot dog. We could draw an accurate pie chart for this information. So we need 360 degrees in a full circle. So the number of degrees in a full circle is going to be 360. So if we add up 31, 28, and 13, that's 72. So the number of fans in total was 72. The number of degrees in total is 360. So what do we have to multiply 72 by to get 360? 360 divided by 72 is 5. So we have to multiply the number of fans by 5 to get the number of degrees. So 31 times 5 is 155. 28 times 5 is 140. And 13 times 5 is 65. So now we should have 360 degrees. 155, 140, and 65 make 360. So now we can just draw these on to the pie chart. So we line up the center of our protractor with the center of the circle. So line them up and then spin it around so 0 degrees is on the line, and then we're just going round 155 for the burgers. So from 0 round to 155, which is there, and then we'll just use the ruler to join up the center of the circle with 155 degrees. So there is our section for burger. We'll get the protractor again at the center of the center of the circle. Get 0 onto our new line, and then measure 140 degrees for pies. So 0 to 140. That's there. And the ruler center of the circle with 140 degrees, and that is for pies. And we should have 65 degrees left for hot dogs. If it's slightly off, it doesn't matter. If it's off a lot, we should worry about it. So it should be about 65 degrees. It looks like I've got 66. It does look like I've got 66 there, or 67. But there will be some flexibility given. You don't have to get it exactly right. That's the hot dog section. Question 15. A shop sells compost in 40-litre bags and 50-litre bags. One day the shop has 2 special offers for compost. We can get 3 bags for £20, or of 40 litre compost, 3 bags for £20, or for 50-litre compost, 2 bags for £16. Which is better value for money? So 3 bags of 40-litre compost is 120 litres. So we can get 120 litres for £20. 2 bags of 50-litre compost is 100 litres. So 100 litres for £16. So which of those 2 is better value for money? So 120 litres for £20, or 100 litres for £16. So to compare them, we have to make them the same. So if we divide this one by 12, that would be 10 litres, and this one by 10, that would be 10 litres as well. Then we can compare the price of 10 litres with the price of 10 litres, and that will tell us which one's cheaper. So we have to compare either the same amount of compost and see which is cheaper, or the same amount of money and which one gives us more compost. So if we do this, we're going to compare 10 litres of compost with 10 litres of compost. So 20 divided by 12 is 1.6 recurring, so that's £1.67. So 10 litres of compost for £1.67. Or we could get 10 litres of compost. 16 divided by 10 is £1.60. So £1.60 is less than £1.67. So the 50-litre bags are better value for money. Question 16. There are 800 students at a school. Each student either has a school dinner or a packed lunch. 33% of the students have packed lunches. 45% of the students are boys. 55% of the boys have school dinners. How many girls have packed lunches? So we can work out these numbers. So 33% of the students, 33% of 800. So to work out 33% of 800, we could do 33, then the percent button, times 800. Of means times, so 33% times 800, which is no it's not, it's 264. Or we could do 0.33, so change the percentage into a decimal, times 800, which will give us the same answer, 264. 45% of the students are boys, so 0.45 times 800 is 360. So there are 360 boys. 55% of the boys have school dinners. So 55% of the boys, not all the students. 55% of 360 which is 198. We need to know how many girls have packed lunches. So we could write this as a two-way table. So we've got boys, girls, total. We've got school dinners, packed lunch, and total. So in total, we have 800 students, 264 have packed lunches, 360 are boys, and 198 boys have school dinners. And then we could just complete this table, and that will tell us how many girls have packed lunches. So 800 take away 360. There's 440 girls. 800 take away 264. 536 have school dinners. 536 take away 198. 338 girls have school dinners. And 440 take away 338. 102 girls packed lunches. That's what we wanted. That's the answer. But let's just complete the table, and then we can check we've got it right. So 162 boys packed lunch, and 162 plus 198 should equal 360, and it does. So everything seems to add up. So our answer is 102. Question 17. A, B, and C are 3 points on a map. 1 centimeter represents 100 meters. Point T is 250 meters from point A. So 100 meters is a centimeter. 250 meters, 250 divided by 100, that's 2.5 centimeters from A. And point T is equidistant from B and C. On the map, show one of the possible positions for point T. So it's 250 meters from A, so 2.5 centimeters. So we can use our compass, measure it out to 2.5 centimeters, and then put the point of the compass on A, and then draw around the circle. So that will be all of the points, 250 meters or 2.5 centimeters away from A. It's also equidistant, so an equal distance from B and C. So if we put our point on B, I'm going to extend this a little bit, make it a bit bigger. And then I'm going to draw an arc here. I'll just draw a full circle. So we want 2 arcs from B, and we want C to intersect that. So that's all those points are an equal distance away from B. All of these points are an equal distance away from C. So the 2 points where these circles intersect, they're an equal distance away from B and C. So anywhere, if I join up these straight line, this is a straight line, anywhere on that line will be an equal distance from both B and C. So where could T be? T could be here. It's an equal distance from B and C, and it's 250 meters from A. Question 18. Tyrone buys a boat. The cost of the boat is 12,100 plus VAT at 20%. Tyrone pays a deposit of 5,000. He pays the rest in 10 equal payments. Work out the amount of each of the 10 payments. So we need to add on 20% to the cost of the boat first. So we could work out 20%. So do 20% of, so times 12,100, and then add it on. So 0.2 times 12,100, and then add that on to 12,100. Or an even quicker way would be to work out 120% of 12,100, which will add on, it'll be 100% plus the 20% in one calculation. So 1.2 times 12,100 is 14,520. So that's the total cost of the boat. If we had worked out 20%, which is 2,420, and then added it on, we would have got the same number, £14,520. That's the total cost. He pays a deposit of 5,000. So let's take that off and see what he's got left to pay. 9,520 left to pay. And he's going to pay that in 10 equal payments. So split that amount of money into 10 payments. £952. Question 19. Here are the heights in centimeters of 15 plants. Draw a stem and leaf diagram for these heights. So when we have a stem and leaf diagram, we have to order the numbers, and we have to split the, in this case, the tens and the ones up. So in our tens, we're going to have 10, 20, and 30. So that's just 1, 2, and 3. They're our stems. And then the ones are going to become the leaves. So for 0 in the ones, we've got 30 and another 30. There are no more zeros. For 1 in the ones, we've got 31. 31 again. There are no more ones. For 2s, 22, 22, 22. No more 2s, 23. For 4s, 24 and 34. 5s, we've got 2 15s and a 25. We have a 16 and a 28. So I've crossed off all of them. We should have 15 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So it's ordered. We've split up the tens from the ones, and we just need to write the key. So 1, line 5 means 15. And it's centimeters. We could write centimeters. We don't have to. And that is our stem and leaf diagram. Question 20. In April, Demola drove 480 miles in his car. The car travelled 46.5 miles for each gallon of petrol used. Petrol cost £1.38 per litre. 1 gallon is equal to 4.55 litres. Work out the cost of the petrol the car used in April. So 450 miles, 46.5 miles for each gallon. So to work out the number of gallons of petrol, how many lots of 46.5 miles did we go? So 480 divided by 46.5 is 10.32. 10.32 gallons. Each gallon is 4.55 litres. So times that by 4.55, and that will tell us how many litres we used. 46.97 litres. Petrol costs £1.38 for each litre. So the number of litres times 1.38. So I'm using the answer button every time. So I'm keeping the whole number in the calculator. I'm not using the rounded number. So answer times 1.38. I've got £64.82p. So £64, 82p. If you did use rounded numbers, there will still be a range of acceptable answers for the question. So £64, 82. Question 21. A is 2 cubed times 3 squared times 5. B is 2 squared times 3 cubed times 5. Write down the highest common factor. So we've already got these numbers written as a product of their prime factors, and we need to know the highest common factor. So what do they have in common? Which prime factors do they both have? So they've both got 2 2s, 2 3s, and a 5. And then A has also got another 2. B has also got another 3. So which ones are in common? They're the ones in the middle, 2 2s, 2 3s, and a 5. So the highest common factor is 2 times 2 times 3 times 3 times 5. Which is 180. If it was the lowest common multiple, it'd be all of these numbers multiplied together. So 2 times 2 times 2 times 3 times 3 times 3 times 5. Question 22. Verity buys 12 bottles of apple juice for a total cost of £15. Verity sells all 12 bottles at £1.75 for each bottle. Work out Verity's percentage profit. So 12 bottles for £1.75 each. Is £21. So her profit is 21 take away 15, which is £6. That's her profit. Her percentage profit. For percentage profit or percentage change, we want the change divided by the original times 100. So that's the profit divided by the original cost times 100. So 6/15 times 100 is 40%. Question 23. The table shows the populations of 5 countries. So we've got 5 countries with their populations in standard form. Work out the difference between the population of India and the population of Turkey. Give your answer in standard form. So the difference, that means take away. So the Indian population minus the Turkish population. So 1.4 times 10 to the power of 9. Take away 8.4 times 10 to the power of 7. So I'm using the standard form button each time there. So 1.4, standard form button 9, take away 8.4, standard form button 7. And we've got our answer. It's not in standard form. We've got 1316 and then 6 zeros. So 131600000. But we need to give our answer in standard form. So standard form is a number between 1 and 10. So 1.316 times 10 to a power. So if we had 1.316, we'd have to multiply it by 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 times. So it's a power of 9. 1.316 times 10 to the power of 9. And if we get given a standard form question, the calculator's either going to give us the correct answer, or we can check our answer. So we can write 1.316 times 10 to the power of 9 and check that we get the same number. 1316 and 6 zeros. Part B, given that the population of Iceland is 1 over k times the population of Denmark, work out the value of k. So what this question is saying is the population of Iceland is equal to the population of Denmark divided by a number called k. What is that number? So what do you have to divide the population of Denmark by to make it the same as the population of Iceland? So to work out that, we can take the population of Denmark and divide it by the population of Iceland. And that will tell you how many times bigger the population of Denmark is than the population of Iceland. So the population of Denmark, 5.8, standard form button 6, 5.8 times 10 to the power of 6, divided by Iceland, 3.4 times 10 to the power of 5, press equals, and we get 17 times to the nearest whole number. So k is 17. So the population of Iceland is 1/17 times the population of Denmark. Question 24. The diagram shows the front of a wooden door with a semicircular glass window. Julie wants to apply 2 coats of wood varnish to the front of the door. 250 milliliters covers 4 meters squared. Work out how many milliliters of wood varnish Julie will need. So we need to work out the area, shaded area, and then work out how much wood varnish that needs. So we have a rectangle, which is 2 times 0.75. 2 0.75s are 1.5. 1.5. And then we've got the area of half a circle. So a semicircle, the area is pi r squared divided by 2. We know the diameter is 0.5, so the radius is half of diameter. So pi times 0.25 squared over 2. Pi times 0.25 squared over 2 is 0.098. 0.098. So the shaded area is 1.5 minus 0.098. 1.5, take away the answer, is 1.40 or 1.402. 1.402 meters squared. That's the area. But we're going to apply 2 coats of wood varnish. So we want 2 lots of 1.402. which is 2.804 meters squared. So that's how much, what the area is we need to cover. And we need 250 milliliters covers 4 meters squared. So 250 milliliters for 4 meters squared. If we divide by 4, we can get the amount we need for every meter squared. So we could use a rounded number here, or we could store it in the calculator. I press store A, so we've saved this number as A. 250 divided by 4 is 62.5. So 62.5 milliliters for each meter squared. We've got 2.804. So 62.5 times 2.804 that I've stored as A, so alpha A, 175.2, 175 to the nearest milliliter, 175 milliliters. We need 175 milliliters of wood varnish. Question 25. So A, B, C, D and F, G, H, I are parallel lines. We can see that from the arrows. And we've got two straight lines going through them. We're told BE and EC, these two are equal. You can see these from the lines. That means we've got an isosceles triangle here. We need to work out this angle here, JGH, and give a reason for each stage of our working. So these two angles, the angles at the base of an isosceles triangle, are equal. So 180 take away 48, and then divided by 2 is 66. So angle EBC is equal to 66 degrees, and the reason, the angles at the base of an isosceles triangle are equal. We can then work out this angle here. Angles on a straight line add up to 180 degrees. So 180 take away 66 is 114. So GBC equals 114 degrees. Angles on a straight line add to 180 degrees. And then we can say we've got corresponding angles. When we've got parallel lines going through a straight line, they make the same angles. So these two angles are corresponding. These two angles are corresponding. And these two angles are corresponding. So we've got corresponding angles, which means that these two are equal. So JGH is also 114 degrees because they are corresponding angles. So our answer is 114 degrees. Question 26. ABCD is a trapezium. We need to work out the size of angle CDA. So C to D to A. This angle here. So we have a Pythagoras and SOHCAHTOA question here. So if we draw a straight line down from C and make a right angle triangle over here, we can say that this length going down from C is the same as the one going down from B. Because it's trapezium, that means we've got two parallel sides. So that's 5.6 centimeters. Then we can also work out this length here, this green length here, by taking away 9 and taking away this length here. And we can find this length if we call this one A. We can find it out using Pythagoras. A squared plus B squared equals C squared. A squared plus B squared equals C squared, where C is the hypotenuse, the longest side. That's the 7. So A squared plus 5.6 squared equals 7 squared. So A squared, if we want to get A squared by itself, we take away 5.6 squared. So 7 squared take away 5.6 squared is 17.64. So A squared must be 17.64. So we square root that and get 4.2. So A is 4.2 centimeters. So this is 4.2. That's 9. So the green length, 21 take away 9 take away 4.2 is 7.8. So now we have another right angle triangle, and this time we can use SOHCAHTOA. So we've got the opposite and the adjacent. The angle between the right angle and the angle is called the adjacent. We're not using the hypotenuse, so we're not using SO or KA. They've got the hypotenuse in them. We're using TOA, the one with the opposite and the adjacent. So tan with the angle is the opposite divided by the adjacent. So tan x is 5.6 divided by 7.8. To get x by itself, to get the angle by itself, we do the opposite of tan, which is shift tan. So it's shift tan or arc tan, 5.6 over 7.8. Shift tan, 5.6 over 7.8 is 35.7 degrees. And question 27, solve x squared minus 11x plus 24 equals 0. So this is a quadratic. To solve quadratics, we can factorize them. So I'm going to put this into double brackets. What multiplies to make 24 and adds to give me a negative 11. So 24 is 1 times 24, 2 12s, 3 eighths, or 4 sixes. Which of those can give me an 11? The only one is 3 1/8. So I'm going to have x in both brackets. X times x makes x squared. I want two numbers that add to make negative 11. So it's going to have to be negative 3 and negative 8. They times to make 24, and they add to make negative 11. So that's factorized. It's in brackets. Now I can just write down the answers. So x minus 3 times x minus 8 is equal to 0. So either the first bracket is equal to 0, in which case x would have to be 3. 3 minus 3 is 0. Or the second bracket is 0. X is 8. 8 take away 8 is 0. So x is equal to 3 or x equals 8.